Hi guys, my name's Natalie, and today I want to talk to you about why I love this chick plastered all over the wall behind me, and also subsequently let you into a little bit of personal stuff about me. Now, Halsey is pretty big at the moment and she's got lots of fans, which kudos girl, you deserve it. I fell in love with Halsey early in her Room 93 release, which is this album for those of you who don't know. And yes, it still has the plastic on it. If you see my reaction videos, you know I'm very invested in lyrics, visuals, things of that nature. Put it into photography terminology or visual terminology. When I listen to music, I look for music that has a clear, defined puncture. It's kind of like an emotional jarring aspect that really connects you with something, and it's almost like when people say they can't look away from a visual even though it's traumatic for them. It's kind of like that, and that's what I look for in music, which is why I really like to research lyrics. So for me, when she first came on the scene with Room 93, two songs stuck out to me. Those are Hurricane and Ghost, both of which I have linked in the down bar below. While they are about relationships and autonomy, for me they flip the script a little bit later on in my journey with Halsey and in my life, because I could denote the male in the relationship in the song as something completely different, and it still made a lot of sense to me. And as she started to get a little bit more notoriety and songs were hitting platinums and things of that nature, she released Badlands, and I almost felt like she used Badlands to talk about, I suppose, her growing up and her overcoming and running away from negative influence, but acknowledging that, you know, these are the Badlands, this is where I come from, and as much as I want to run away, they're always going to be part of me. Around the same time, I started to appreciate her as a person, and what did that for me was that, I can't remember if it was Billboard or Rolling Stone magazine published this thing about her being bi because she's biracial, bisexual, and has bipolar. And I thought, oh my god, that's such a low blow for an upcoming artist. That's disgusting. Which brings me back to my tattoo. So for those of you who have been around for a while, you know that I have Hurricane tattooed on my arm here. Sorry for the wiggly bits, I'm getting old. I'm a bit of a science nerd, and originally it was for chaos theory because it fascinates me. Theoretical physics and things of that nature really fascinate me. And then Halsey released Badlands, and suddenly her being this incredible, gracious person and her music being something that hit me very raw in the emotions came together, and I was like, oh my god, Badlands is the inside of my head conceptualized into an album. I need to start paying attention here, which might sound ridiculous to some people. It's gonna make more sense when I tell you what path my life took about 18 months ago. So 18 months from where we are now, a lot of things started to change for me. Anxiety wasn't anxiety. I knew a lot of people with anxiety. I started Brave Project, and it was becoming quite clear to me that something was wrong. Now, if anyone knows me, memory is a hard thing for me. Feeling stuck all the time is a hard thing for me, which does induce panic, but I don't have panic attack. To have anxiety clinically, you must have panic attack, and I don't. And so I started seeing a psychologist full time, and I explained that, you know, sometimes I could be somewhere and then suddenly snap out of it and I wasn't where I thought I was anymore, which, by the way, is called dissociation. And as I'm getting older, it's getting worse. And then I started experiencing pure rage. So anyway, long story short, we go to the psychologist, and after about a year and a half, I end up on some pretty horrific medications, which is why I fluctuate in weight so much, because some of them make me really, really sick. And I get diagnosed with bipolar. And that's when I started to correlate what it was like to be this person back to the music. And I started understanding what she was putting down on paper a little bit more, because I now had a shared experience. And it's not to say that her songs are about mental health necessarily, but I think if you listen, you will find undertones in there that will speak to what it is like to live with conditions like this. My tattoo was then a dual meaning, because Hurricane is bipolar. If you go back and you listen to that song and you replace the man with the illness, it made the same sense. And that's not to say that you should be defined by mental illness, because I absolutely do not think you should be. Like, I don't think she ever set out to advocate for people like me, but it did make a very big difference to my life to have a common connection, specifically with someone in the public eye who was so open about it. There are a lot of celebrities that have bipolar, don't get me wrong, but not everyone talks about it. And she was open about it, and she was honest, and she allows you to see the struggle as well as the good bits. And that's something that I really appreciate, because mental illness can be debilitatingly lonely. A lot of my family members don't understand what it is, and a lot of them don't even believe that mental health is a thing. That's why I appreciate her music so much, and I can't wait to go see her in concert and thank her in person. If you'd like to ask me any more questions about anything that I've mentioned today, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys.